Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. 3 may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. He that can have patience can have what he will. You may delay, but time will not. A penny saved is a penny earned. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, in water there is bacteria. We are all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer we shall be immortal. I didn't fail the test, I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety, deserve neither liberty nor safety. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. How many observe Christ's birthday? How few, his precepts. Being ignorant is not so much a shame, as being unwilling to learn. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Well done is better than well said. Never confuse motion with action. Educate your children to self-control, to the habit of holding passion and prejudice and evil tendencies subject to an upright and reasoning will, and you have done much to abolish misery from their future and crimes from society. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. Lost time is never found again. Whatever is begun in anger, ends in shame. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. 'Tis a great confidence in a friend to tell him your faults, greater to tell him his. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. Do not anticipate trouble, or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. When you are finished changing, you are finished. 3 may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. To find out a girl's faults, praise her to her girlfriends. But in this world nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes. A slip of the foot you may soon recover, but a slip of the tongue you may never get over. Life's biggest tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Trouble knocked at the door, but, hearing laughter, hurried away. Happiness depends more on the inward disposition of mind than on outward circumstances. If you would not be forgotten, as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading, or do things worth writing. If Jack's in love, he's no judge of Gil's beauty. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. Be civil to all, sociable to many, familiar with few, friend to one, enemy to none. My refusing to eat flesh occasioned an inconveniency, and I was frequently chided for my singularity, but, with this lighter repast, I made the greater progress, for greater clearness of head and quicker comprehension. Flesh-eating is unprovoked murder. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. We do not stop playing because we grow old, we grow old because we stop playing. While we may not be able to control all that happens to us, we can control what happens inside us. Never leave till tomorrow that which you can do today. The best thing to give to your enemy is forgiveness to an opponent, tolerance to a friend, your heart to your child, a good example to a father, deference to your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you to yourself, respect to all others, charity. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. Security without liberty is called prison. Contentment makes poor men rich, discontent makes rich men poor. When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. All mankind is divided into three classes, those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. The only thing that is more expensive than education is ignorance. Those things that hurt, instruct. It takes many good deeds to build a good reputation, and only one bad one to lose it. To be humble to superiors is a duty, to equals courtesy, to inferiors nobleness. Eat to live, don't live to eat. Beware of little expenses, a small leak will sink a great ship. A brother may not be a friend, but a friend will always be a brother. There will be sleeping enough in the grave. For the best return on your money, pour your purse into your head. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools that don't have brains enough to be honest. He who can have patience can have what he will. There cannot be good living where there is not good drinking. A false friend and a shadow attend only while the sun shines. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. When the well is dry we know the value of water. A friend in need is a friend indeed. I will speak ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody. Fard for freedom, fard for liberty and fard proudly. Critics are our friends, they show us our faults. Thinking aloud is a habit which is responsible for most of mankind's misery. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Reading was the only amusement I allowed myself. If passion drives, let reason hold the reins. Clean your finger, before you point at my spots. Joy is not in things, it is in us. Fish and visitors stink in 3 days. He that speaks much, is much mistaken. He that won't be counseled can't be helped. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. He that has once done you a kindness will be more ready to do another, than he whom you yourself have obliged. Without freedom of thought there can be no such thing as wisdom and no such thing as public liberty, without freedom of speech. It is hard for an empty sack to stand upright. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. That which hurts, also instructs. To be proud of virtue, is to poison yourself with the antidote. A nation of well-informed men who have been taught to know and prize the rights which God has given them cannot be enslaved. It is in the region of ignorance that tyranny begins. To follow by faith alone is to follow blindly. The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten. Glass, china, and reputation, are easily cracked, and never well mended. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools, that don't have brains enough to be honest. Vicious actions are not hurtful because they are forbidden, but forbidden because they are hurtful. Some people die at age 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. To succeed, jump as quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusions. He that would live in peace and at ease, must not speak all he knows nor judge all he sees. Many a long dispute among divines may be thus abridged: it is so, it is not so, it is so, it is not so. Where there's marriage without love, there will be love without marriage. Be not sick too late, nor well too soon. He that's content, hath enough. He that complains, has too much. Wise men don't need advice, fools won't take it. Games lubricate the body and mind. Wise men learn by others' harms, fools by their own. Be studious in your profession, and you will be learned. Be industrious and frugal, and you will be rich. Be sober and temperate, and you will be healthy. Be in general virtuous, and you will be happy. At least you will, by such conduct, stand the bee. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. To all apparent beauties blind, each blemish strikes an envious mind. Experience keeps a dear school, but fools will learn in no other, and scarce in that. Content makes poor men rich, discontent makes rich men poor. There are 3 faithful friends, an old wife, an old dog, and ready money. Make yourself sheep and the wolves will eat you. If you would be loved, love, and be lovable. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. Genius is nothing but a greater aptitude for patience. The best way to see faith is to shut the eye of reason. Whatever you become, be good at it. Motivation is when your dreams put on work clothes. A place for everything, everything in its place. He that drinks his cider alone, let him catch his horse alone. A man must have a good deal of vanity who believes, and a good deal of boldness who affirms, that all the doctrines he holds are true, and all he rejects are false. It's better to swim in the sea below, than to swing in the air and feed the crow, says Jolly Ned Teach of Bristol. A learned blockhead is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one. There are 2 ways to increase your wealth: increase your means or decrease your wants. The best is to do both at the same time. Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. You will find the key to success under the alarm clock. There are 3 things extremely hard: steel, a diamond, and to know one's self. Words may show a man's wit, actions his meaning. Reading makes a full man, meditation a profound man, discourse a clear man. So convenient a thing to be a reasonable creature, since it enables one to find or make a reason for everything one has a mind to do. A good example is the best sermon. No one cares what you know until they know that you care. Speak little, do much. How few there are who have courage enough to own their faults, or resolution enough to mend them. Many a man thinks he is buying pleasure, when he is really selling himself to it. He that lieth down with dogs, shall rise up with fleas. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. Happiness consists more in the small conveniences of pleasures that occur every day, than in great pieces of good fortune that happen but seldom to a man in the course of his life. One today is worth 2 tomorrows. Absence sharpens love, presence strengthens it. Anger is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one. To cease to think creatively is to cease to live. Genius without education is like silver in the mine. All the little money that ever came into my hands was ever laid out in books. The people heard it, and approved the doctrine, and immediately practiced the contrary. He that displays too often his wife and his wallet is in danger of having both of them borrowed. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations get corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations get corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. He that lives upon hope will die fasting. Write your injuries in dust, your benefits in marble. After 3 days men grow weary, of a wench, a guest, and weather rainy. A man wrapped up in himself makes a very small bundle. Energy and persistence conquer all things. If you know how to spend less than you get, you have the philosopher's stone. God heals, and the doctor takes the fees. The doorstep to the temple of wisdom is a knowledge of our own ignorance. Fools need advice most, but wise men only are the better for it. Serving God is doing good to man, but praying is thought an easier service and therefore more generally chosen. Those who would give up essential liberty, to purchase a little temporary safety, deserve neither liberty nor safety. Tart words make no friends. A spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar. Old boys have their playthings as well as young ones. The difference is only in the price. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. What you would seem to be really. Great modesty often hides great merit. Originality is the art of concealing your sources. Great beauty, great strength, and great riches are really and truly of no great use. A right heart exceeds all. The eyes of other people are the eyes that ruin us. If all but myself were blind, I should want neither fine clothes, fine houses, nor fine furniture. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that? Nobody. 'Tis easier to suppress the first desire than to satisfy all that follow it. A countryman between two lawyers is like a fish between two cats. Vessels large may venture more, but little boats should keep near shore. He who is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Savages we call them, because their manners differ from ours, which we think the perfection of civility they think the same of theirs. He was so learned that he could name a horse in 9 languages, so ignorant that he bought a cow to ride on. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. The best of all medicines are resting and fasting. Only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. All would live long, but none would be old. Praise to the undeserving is severe satire. He's a fool that cannot conceal his wisdom. Read much, but not many books. The proud hate pride in others. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.